So to give a brief introduction, myself, Shekhar Malani, I have been involved with a few startups for the last 3 and 4 years. And these startups have been in a variety of industries, including engineering as well as education. With that, I see a lot of focus on startups and setting up businesses in India. And a lot of our friends who are right now in US or outside India also want to get engaged in that process. So we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, and myself is Yogesh Takar. I'll be covering the topics around the career or job opportunities in India. Where are the core industries leading, and where are the newer opportunity sectors opening up, especially for the skill set that is garnered in the Western world, and how India is catching up with that. And at the end, we'll take some questions. You can start writing down your questions into the chat window, which we can take towards the end. So this is just our profiles. You would have already read through it. Essentially, we have shared that on the webinar page as well. So we'll just skip that, and keeping the time constraint in mind, we'll just go to the business section, and Shekhar will walk you through the various aspects of starting a business in India.
Okay, there are quite a few industries which are rapidly growing in India. There is a lot of action happening on the ground, and a lot of us want to get engaged in this action. The recent changes on the government front have also led to a positive business atmosphere. And if we look at the key sectors that are advancing in India, one is obviously the technology infusion in traditional industries, be it automotive or industrial automation. Technology is now contributing a significant portion in these industries. For example, food processing, which was once completely uh, hand based job, has now adapted to significant automation, as well as using the latest in technology, sensors, and robotic machines to cater to the industrial segments, as well as the new age customer. Banking solutions are one more thing where technology has infused a lot of recent innovations. And if we talk about digital banking, if we talk about digital money transfer, that is something which has become a day-to-day element in India. As we talk about lifestyle services, uh, again, a lot of focus on the new age parents who are now ready to spend on their kids. So, kid centric products as well as services are seeing a lot of infusion. In fact, quite a few startups are focused on around kids and providing services to the parents that would make their life easier as they grow up their next generation. Healthcare, again, something that Indians have become much more aware of, and they are ready to spend, ensuring that they don't lose out a day because of bad health. App-based solutions, we want everything on our fingertips. We want everything on our mobile, and that is what is driving a lot of these changes. A lot of my friends are now ordering their groceries via apps, and it's been a long time they have visited the grocery store themselves. Tourism is one more industry which is growing, and whether it be tourism as far as sightseeing or tourism in terms of medical tourism, both are being seen as emerging sectors for business. Clean energy is one more segment. If you have seen recent announcements made by India in this regard, there is a talk about India going significantly towards electric vehicles and be only a electric vehicle driven automotive sector by 2030. And that is a significant change from what we have been seeing in the past. And this delta, the portions of which will be seen from 2020 onwards, there are a lot of companies which are now making electric bikes, electric two-wheelers, electric three-wheelers, and electric cars. One of the things, if you will soon start missing about India, are those polluting three-wheelers and auto rickshaws on the streets, because they will soon be a thing of the past. Smart grid solutions are coming up slowly and are also a major portion of the smart city initiative. Infrastructure or solar power is significantly increasing, and the cost per kilowatt hour has decreased significantly to make it a viable alternative power solution. IoT and connected systems is the upcoming business sector, and a lot of new generation companies, especially in Bangalore, Pune, they are looking at these to be their segments. Connectivity is a key. Machine learning and data analytics are things that will follow once data starts coming from the connected devices. One more business segment which is definitely catering to the American or European markets is outsourced operations. Till now, we have seen a lot of outsourced operations in the IT segment, and now we are seeing outsourced operations in the non-IT engineering services like CAD/CAM, even PCB design in terms of electronics. If we talk about civil engineering and architecture, then it's the drawing and drafting, and they are seeing a significant increase. Shared services and admin services, for example, legal and finance, are again what are seeing a significant movement towards the new emerging sectors and startups. So a lot of companies from US are outsourcing their legal and finance back office work to India. Before we continue, Yogesh has a few words to talk about. Yogesh?
Yeah, we just wanted to also highlight that you can post your questions on by subscribing our channel for live chat, or you can, if that is difficult, just drop a question to Rahul, RAHUL @vroomble.com, and we will get those questions towards the end, and we will answer those questions. So again, just repeating, just send an email to Rahul, RAHUL @Vroomble, VROOMBLE.com, or you can subscribe to our channel for live chat, and there you can post the questions. Thank you, and Shekhar, please continue.
So a lot of positivity has been driven from the recent government schemes and initiatives. So if we go back 2 years down the line, 2 years ago, we have been coming up with a lot of initiatives and a lot of buzzwords. So Startup India being one of them. So if we really come to the aspect of what it really means for someone who is going to start his business in India, let us simplify the key bullet points or the key benefits. One is that there are some tax benefits for startups that fall under the Startup India uh, rules. And these tax benefits really ensure that a startup is not going to pay any taxes for the first 5 years, in fact. So there is this gives room for the startup to grow, the startup not to worry about taxation in general. The second is ease of complying with labor laws. Labor laws are very complicated in India, and this Startup India initiative allows a self-certification for the startups against the labor laws. So it simplifies compliance. And also, Startup India now is very close to making a one-stop registration of a new entity happen. It's getting there, it's not there yet. And that is one of the reasons why the 2017 ranking for ease of doing business in India did not show any improvement in the global ranking. But we think that with Startup India and GST in 2018, there will be a significant improvement in the ranking. Coming next to the folks who are really thinking about manufacturing in India. The Make in India scheme is all about doing that. It is promoting manufacturing, so making you get subsidies, get land at a lesser price, being some of the initial capital investments can be significantly benefited. Also, the tenders usually coming out of government associations and even larger public entities. The tenders are structured to promote the local manufacturer. A lot of the displacement that was happening from imported Chinese goods is now getting restricted. And there is a reduced focus on the L1 or the lowest in the commercials to win the bid. The bids are now more quality driven. So Make in India is something that can really help those who want to manufacture. The GST, which is the most recent happening positive element with regards to the ease of doing business, one completely attacks the black money or the movement of black money in the industry. So black purchases, sales are going to reduce, and there is a significant reduction in paperwork, which will make the startup founder, co-founder, the active team concentrate more on their day-to-day operations, getting new business and innovation rather than worrying about paperwork in the back end. In GST regime, the accountability is on the purchaser. So the goods and service tax really makes the purchaser of the good or service accountable for payment of the taxes. And therefore, it ensures that the right vendors are selected. There is also no distinction now between factory and dealer for manufacturing. So any entity which is registered can produce anything in their organization. They don't need a separate factory license. There is a reduction in tax liability, especially for entities that are dealing with both goods and services. They will see a significant reduction in their tax liability. And the best thing about GST is that you don't have to worry about filing taxes separately at 4 different locations. Even though your tax is getting split between the center and the state, the GSTN is a single platform which allows you to meet all the compliances. So the ease of doing business is improving, and a lot of startups are getting attracted to that. So as we talk about the climate, let us also talk about where where is the best place in the country to start the startup or to set up a business. So startup is traditionally or more likely a word that you would tie with a technology driven system or a technology driven entity, and something like in the core engineering fields. I would rather call it setting up a business and not setting up a startup, because you are looking at much more longer term vetting and developing the entity. So for core engineering, the there are few regions of the country which are more suited. One being the Delhi and the NCR, the Northern Capital Region, which is basically a very good place for entities or manufacturing which is going to use significant amount of manpower or wants low cost manpower. So the availability of physical manpower, the labor that is required for the manufacturing line, is significantly eased in the NCR region. Pune is also a good choice for a core engineering firm to set up their base in. Pune offers a very good confluence of IT and engineering industries, especially automotive and manufacturing. Mumbai, on the other hand, could be the place where you initially start up because of the access to the VCs and the funds. When it comes to the IT-enabled services, Chennai is definitely a key area if you are getting into manufacturing, if you are getting into the auto industry or the cellular industry. Bangalore is the right choice for IT-enabled services where you are slightly higher on the technology front. So availability of trained manpower and quality of life are significant advantages that Bangalore brings on the table. And I know of a lot of friends who once moved there to Bangalore, and they don't want to move anywhere out. However, these places that we talk about, the cost of living is significantly on the higher side. And a lot of startups now are looking to kick off their ventures in places where the cost of living is not that significant, and while the quality of life is still maintained. And some of the upcoming hubs are Hyderabad, which is seeing a second revolution in terms of the IT and industrialization, because it is now a part of the Telangana state, and there is a lot of emphasis in creating another Cyberabad in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is right there on the top. Amravati, which is the newly formed, which is the capital of the newly formed Andhra Pradesh state, and it is again the chief minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who is again doing the same kind of revolution in Amravati that he did years ago in Hyderabad. Jaipur, Ahmedabad, mid-size or significantly the top 10 cities that were uh, business oriented are also coming up on to the startup domain. Nagpur, Vadodara, Kochi, Chandigarh wrap out some of the upcoming areas for startups. So now, as we have talked about what it really takes for selecting the ideal location for the startup, how do we put things into action? How do we really start our startup? And with that, we I'll just walk through some of the basic steps involved. What is the action plan and how to go about the creation of the startup. So firstly, in order to get ready, we need to select a name. Name needs to be something which is not already allocated by the registrar of companies to any other entity in India. And it is very easy to find that information online on the registrar of companies website. So selection of the name definitely is the first element to be undertaken. Then understanding how you want to form the company. There are multiple options. The traditional options like proprietorship and partnership are no longer recommended. However, there are other options. The traditional one would be the private limited. The newer one would be the single person company and LLP. And they are something that are ideal for most of the services platforms as well as for manufacturing companies. So you don't really need a partner to form a company now. You can do a single person company and still have all the benefits of a registered company. Need to determine the place of registration and then start working on the key documents required for the incorporation. Those documents would be the memorandum of association, the articles of association, coming up with your board of directors, ensuring that all the directors have a director identification number and have a digital signature. Once that is done, the incorporation can be carried out online, and you can in fact carry out nearly 100% of that totally online without a lot of intervention. One thing to be looking at when selecting a name is to consider whether you want your name to also be your trademark, or and if so, then registration of trademark may be something that you want to do ahead of coming up with the name of the company. So once the incorporation is done, then it's time to get other basic registrations, which would now include the GST registration and includes the traditional Shop Act registration, which would be required for certain types of operations. A consulting firm can typically start without a Shop Act registration as well. The next piece would be to open a bank account, a current bank account. And once you register, once the firm gets incorporated, in fact, you will get emails from all the banks who are looking to interact with you and help you get started. The next would be to identify specific registrations. If you are associating with some certain industry bodies, if you want to claim benefits of IT-enabled services, there are certain specific registrations that you would have to go to. So a couple of points missing here is the basic elements like getting your PAN card, PAN number and TAN number, which kind of gets included in the basic registrations once the incorporation is done. So that's action plan. Those are the simplified steps. A lot of it has turned online and can be done without a lot of headaches and without interventions. So with that, as we discuss about the business, we will move ahead and start talking about careers and job opportunities in India, which is as exciting as the startup scenario. And Yogesh will further walk you through the careers and the job sectors in India.
Okay, great. Thanks, Shekhar, and hope we are able to sync up on in terms of the slides and the voice with you. What I would request is that there is a live chat window going on. If there are any questions, you can just type those questions. You have to just subscribe to the Vroomble channel. There would be an option. Alternatively, you can just drop a line or questions to rahul@vroomble.com, because if there is an issue in terms of subscribing a channel, we would like you to still send us the questions, which we will take it at the end of this section. I hope you are able to clearly hear me. Now we are heading towards the second section, which is the top opportunity sectors or areas for jobs or the career in India. What I would like to say is that there won't be any more exciting times being in India when it comes to the job market or the growth. There are a lot of sectors which are opening up, newer opportunities are coming. Industry's focus is changing from optimization to growth. Industries have done a lot of optimization over the last 5 to 10 years. The companies itself have done a lot of optimization, and they are now looking at growth, and the growth is coming from various sectors driven by the newer trends in the market. So here we would like to highlight 4 specific opportunity areas, and as well as there are related different job profiles are there with respect to each of this area. I will kind of verbalize while we are talking on that. The first one I would like to take is Industry 4.0 or digitalization. Obviously, this has been catching or leapfrogging in India, I would say. It's not like the earlier days where Western world has moved 5 years ahead and then India is catching up after that. It's been like a lag of, I would say, only 1 or 2 years, and it's catching very fast. There are tremendous amount of opportunities that are opening up. Around, as you know, like 75% plus companies that probably you would have heard, like would worldwide would be on board on Industry 4.0 by 2020. So that will definitely, India will have its own pie to take into it. So there is like in India itself, it is supposed to unlock a potential of $100 billion working capital reduction through that. So there are a lot of opportunities in the Industry 4.0 space, be it industrial Internet of Things, banking, smart cities, smart governance, and safety and security. So there are eventually, if you have any specific core skill set into any of these areas, definitely there is a strong demand for your profile in India. The second aspect is the digital or content strategy. How we are essentially transforming the organizations digitally, and how the overall web portals or mobile apps and other digital related uh, content, how it is delivered to the all the stakeholders in the value stream, be it suppliers, or be it your own employees, or be it your customers or the dealers and distributors. How this entire strategy that needs to be built up, and how the data networking and data data gathering happens. There is a strong focus in that area, because in the industry 4.0, the most important part is getting connected. Once you have get data connected and gathered into one single source, or the, you can call it as a DBMS, then there is obviously you can do a lot many things like data analytics, or then taking it to the optimization level, which is the now the second opportunity area that I'm coming to, which is more onto the data analytics per se. So this is the area where strategy needs to be very right. Organizations are opening up in terms of sharing the data across different stakeholders. So it becomes a lot easier to come up with the new business models. And the opportunity lies for the data scientist or the specific consultants into the data area, where they have worked into this big data space, or security of the data, or being able to models, or build the predictive solutions for the customers, for the businesses, and essentially the solutions that are more like advisory driven, wherein it is more services driven model rather than just manufacturing the goods and products and selling those goods and products. So, and lot of the areas where the focus is going towards right now in terms of analytics per se is the supply chain or inventory areas, where there is inventory or working capital reduction is a significant opportunity, both in retail as well as auto manufacturing sectors. So that is the second big opportunity area which we would like to highlight. The third one is sustainability. As you would know, India, there is obviously a huge population to cater to, which is a great market to cater to. But at the same time, how you can build the solutions which are sustainable and able to cater to the next generation, as and be able to meet the overall India's goal of this environmental protection agreement that they have signed in Paris, and how you are able to meet that carbon footprint reduction, uh, and then through other aspects such as vehicle electrification, smart grid, or metering. Uh, those are the areas where there are a lot of opportunities. Those areas will definitely get a right buy-in from the employers. Waste management, recycling, linked to India's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or the Clean India campaign, which was launched 2 years back by India's Prime Minister. Obviously, there is a huge scope in those areas if there is a skill set available. So, what I would say that lot of opportunity for solution architects in like any of these three areas, like industry 4.0, data analytics, sustainability, uh, plus the networking or the cloud computing skill set, if you have that, and obviously building the solutions, and for that we would require coming up and selling these solutions to the end customers, be it the B2B or B2C. So you need a lot of business development or account management profiles with the knowledge of this gamut of things. That will be a significant advantage. And obviously, the core skills required at the underlying level are software and hardware integration, and being able to code, being able to integrate with the sensors, and being able to connect and get data for optimization, and then generating insights. So those still underlying skills are valuable, but it's very important for any new entrant who is willing to start working in India to be updated with the recent developments, because it's catching up very fast, and you cannot just come in and say that my old skills will always be valuable here. You have to upgrade your skills. You have to think of how you can get that experience into your current organizations if you can, into the digitalization and data analytics space if you can. That would definitely upgrade your value when you come to India. The last sector I would like to highlight is the banking and financial sector. There is a lot of liquidity in the market. The demonetization, the reduction of interest rates, mobile banking, ability to transfer money instantaneously. So there are a lot of solutions coming up, based on the digital platforms, and the banks are opening up. So there is a huge opportunity in terms of, like, when you're looking at like the financial planners, risk profiling or analytics, being able to create your own ecosystem of the funds, or like contribute to the venture funds, uh, in parallel to, if you are able to, if you are looking for jobs in India, and if you have a opportunity to invest somewhere. Corporate finance, that's why is going to be one of the key area where people will really look for the skills, wherein advanced business banking solutions can be integrated with the corporate finance. And the last one is the fraud analytics, obviously being the cyber security and uh, other areas where you can see the fraud would be the significant potential where people can really intervene and address the issues related to the cyber security, fraud, the data security, and those areas. So I would say that having any primary or secondary linked skill sets in any of these four sectors, there would be a significant opportunity to look for. And as you had seen, the Indian information technology or the IT companies are moving towards these sectors as well, and they are trying to build the skill sets in those areas. So I would like to highlight that if you have any questions, please write to our uh, live chat window. And it's open, and on this slide, and then definitely we can take it at the end. I will cover a couple of more slides, and then we will go to the questions. The next slide I'm moving, I will talk about the key employability skills in India. It is very essential to know that in India, not necessarily all the skills that you have gathered into the Western world would be exactly relevant. Yes, definitely the skills in terms of the core business and technical acumen, those would be valuable. But India works a lot on networking. Means even in the job environment, in your day-to-day job, you cannot expect it to be just transactional. That people are doing their jobs very professionally. When you send an email, the job will get done. You make a phone call, the job will get done. It's not always the thing. You will have to build a cordial relationship with your employees, parallel employees, as well as your employers, and like your ecosystem partners, like be it suppliers or the service providers, because networking is where the people are able to work and get the things done very efficiently. Obviously for that you have to have a give and take kind of a relationship. Make sure that you do something for them, obviously they will return the favor on top of that. Then the second aspect I would like to highlight is the technical or business acumen depth. Means there is no compromise for that. You need to have a very core depth into some of the sellable skills that would be valuable to the potential employers. And the third one is the thought leadership. As I was mentioning, is like being relevant to the latest trends, being relevant to the latest developments in the market, looking for what where the governments are moving globally, and being able to bring your own thoughts with respect to that and how those would be relevant to the business or the company where you are going to work for, and basically link your thoughts to that future development. Employers are valuing that more. Employers don't want the typical old school kind of company, like the employees to be coming in and just doing their 8 to 5 job and going home. They are not looking for those kind of profiles anymore. They want thought leaders. They want people who can challenge the ecosystem and take the baton to make the change happen. So you as an when you are going for any particular interview or discussion, I would definitely like to highlight that you should bring that awareness and developments or the next generation trends into your discussions. That would be really valuable. The fourth one is the communication skill. There is not much needed to be said here. You need to be communicative, open, transparent, as well as essentially be able to build a network through your like the English proficiency as well as local language proficiency. That would help build a lot of good relationships. The last but not the least is patience. Patience is very important in India. You would have to be ready to come across a lot of views, a lot of differing thoughts from different contributors. You will see that people are contributing their thoughts even if you would have not asked for that. So you need to be like take in all the information and process and act what you see is the best. Okay, and that's where patience is very crucial virtue to work into the Indian uh, organizations. That will help you build a systematic approach in resolving any your day-to-day or long-term issues, or like bring the solutions accordingly to the requirements of the or solving the problems on the ground. So those are the 5 key employability skills that we would like to highlight. Now we will go to the last presenter. It is about the pay structure or compensation structure in India. It is very important to know this because in Western world, you would see that it is a very straightforward compensation structure. You have one salary element with some deductions on the social security or the state or federal tax level, and that's it. But here in India, the space structure has many components, and there are a lot of optional components which employers can build on top of the basic structure. So I would quickly take 2 minutes to really walk you through this basic structure. So there is a basic salary, which is like mandatory for any employer to give, which is usually 40% of your gross salary. I have given one example in terms of the numbers. You can see those numbers. The second element is the house rent allowance. So house rent allowance is usually 50% of the basic or 40% of the basic. So 40% is for tier 2 and below cities. Metros, you get 50%. And the tax reduction happens on the house rent allowance at a particular IT rule. So there are basic minimum requirements in terms of the IT rule, which that can be found out easily, or you can just write to us and we'll help explain you that. The third one is the transportation allowance. You can get up to 800 rupees per month in terms of transportation allowance. The fourth is the medical reimbursement. So you get 1250 or 1250 rupees per month, or annually it is 15,000 capped, which is allowed against the bills submitted. Okay, and that amount is if you submit the bills, then it is tax deductible. The education allowance is there for 200 rupees, which is not much, but that's the provision that has been made. There is a special allowance. Special allowance is like on top of your basic structure, which is like it is a negotiation, I would say, between you and the employer, and like whatever the remaining gross salary typically goes in. Like if you are decided that this is the gross salary I would like to have, let's say 10 lakh, and your basic comes to be total, all the basic elements come to be total of 5 lakhs, then the rest of the 5 lakhs will go into the special allowance. Options like meal coupons, the Sodexo coupons that employers provide, LTA is provided. It is like you can avail trips in India only and submit the bills for that. But those are only 2 trips for 4-year time frame that you can take and claim the LTA or the leave travel allowance for that, and it is also tax deductible. So that comes to be like a gross salary, and on top of that there would be performance bonus, and then there would be some instantaneous bonuses that companies award. That is all dependent on the company norms. And then there is the last contribution is the provident fund contribution. So here it is a tricky situation. A lot of employers in India, they show the employer contribution of the provident fund, which is 12% of the basic as part of your CTC. CTC is the cost to company. So essentially what it means is that this 12% will also be deducted from your salary on top of your employee contribution of 12%. So actually there is a 24% of the basic that is getting deducted. So which is you will get surprised sometimes that okay, I am contributing as the employee contribution of 12%, but why is this extra 12% going out? So that is employer is also taking 12% out of your CTC itself, and they show it as a part of your CTC. So you have to plan your negotiations accordingly so that your in hand can be very clear. And we have at Vroomble in hand salary calculator also. So in case if you need any help with respect to that, definitely us at info@vroomble.com, and we will help you in terms of getting the clarity. Then there are a lot of other benefits as per company norms, whether it is a car lease, reimbursable benefits, and all. Those are dependent on the company norms. All right. So those are the details about the pay or compensation structure. And now we would like to move on to questions that we have received. And you can still keep typing the questions. We would like to take those, and we will answer those questions accordingly. All right. We are going to the video screen now. Hope you are able to see Shekhar and I, and we would like to take questions. Maybe
I'll take the first question from Mr. Nikhil Kadu on what is medical tourism. And if we talk about medical tourism, basically what it means is an end-to-end package of getting you here, getting you through the medical routines, checkups, or any specific operation that you need to undertake, and providing you all the facilities at the hospital or at the hotel while you are in India for your medical checkups, and providing you visa, providing you with airplane tickets, providing you with the complete 360 degrees for making it happen in India. Because if we look at the base expense of the operation itself, it is significantly lower in India as compared to most of the countries abroad. even the matured economies like Europe. Obviously, it can't compare to countries where the entire healthcare is paid for by the country itself. But America, Middle East, Singapore, there are a lot of people who come to India for medical tourism or to get operations.
The second question is, how did you perform all this research? What is the source? It's a good question. The primary set of information that I would like to say is that we have spoken with the industry experts or our network within India. Obviously, the industry reports, going through them and being able to bring in relevant information, speaking to the IT companies or the companies into the automotive sector or industrial sector, because where we have kind of gone through, like, where how in terms of the GDP contribution to India, which are those sectors which are really adding a lot more value, and then picking up those sectors and identifying who are the key experts into those areas. Those are our major sources of information, we would like to say, apart from the reports or the news articles that we have gone through. Okay. The next question is, what are the opportunities in IoT, especially in farming sector? Shekhar, you would like to take
Yeah,
that?
so that is a unique sector. It is largely untapped by technology because farmers in India hold very small portions of land, and that is why the adaptation of technology has been significantly slower. Given that, it has its own challenges because India relies widely on rainfall, on the water content in the soil, and for that, IoT solutions like sensing, ensuring that the right moisture is there for the right kind of crop, ensuring that the water supply is optimum. Those are things that require IoT-based solutions. Even helping farmers connect with other farmers for the need of equipment, for the need of manpower and labor. Those are solutions of connectivity which are required. So it's a big opportunity to come up with something in the IoT focusing on farming.
Yeah, I would like to add one more element to it. I was just like 2 days back speaking with one of my friends who works at Syngenta. Syngenta is into this biotech crops, and they are doing very interesting predictive kind of failure monitoring onto the crop areas. So they are deploying the sensors to capture the insect intervention, or the like into the farming area basically, and understanding where the crops are going to get susceptible well in advance to these insect attacks, and how they can really use drones to spread the insecticides or the pesticides into the farming areas where potentially this is going to spread out. So it's a very interesting solution that they are building. So there are a lot of opportunities where the solutions, the business-driven solutions can be built. The apps which are user-friendly into the local languages for the farmers, how they can understand switching to a particular crop, given the moisture, as Shekhar was saying, moisture content or the soil quality and all, that they can easily access to the mobile apps. So there are a lot of solutions which are getting built into this area. Yeah. All right. The next one is, Shekhar, you want to take?
Yeah. So opportunities in automobile sectors. So Manas, on that, The opportunities are significant. One of the key areas that is upcoming is the electrification. The second is the inducement of technology into the manufacturing plants and bringing them to the industry 4.0 levels. Those are the two big areas of opportunities in the automotive sector. Uh, Here, both in terms of setting up a business or also in job opportunities, both are lively by themselves. So that is there.
Okay. So the next question is the how are the office space rates in Pune and Bangalore? And just before I go to that, Manas, what we can do is that we can always share more details through our website or through our email access as needed. The next question is that how are the office space rates in Pune and Bangalore? What I think the commercial space rates in Pune area are like ranging from 100 rupees per square feet all the way up to like 300 rupees per square feet busy zones, I would say. In Bangalore, I think the rates are a bit higher. You can go up to 1.5 times of the Pune rates in Bangalore. So if Pune is 100, you can assume that Bangalore would be somewhere in the range of 150 to 175 rupees per square feet. That is the commercial space rate in the Pune and Bangalore. The next one is from Hesh Kavre. He's asking us, can you elaborate on the fintech opportunities in India? So fintech is obviously we would like to admit that we would not have a lot many details in this, but definitely we would like to get back on it. What we can say is that there is definitely a lot of focus on the risk analytics. Risk analytics is one area where profiling the customers now, as you would have seen, a lot of customers in India are getting into the banking channel. There were very few customers who were really using the banking channels, but now because of this new government's initiatives, uh, there are opportunities for reach out to the customers who were not earlier into the network, and for them, like identifying their credibility, making sure that they are able to meet all the requirements from the financial loan or the debt requirements, and being able to satisfy the bank primary conditions on the basis of which you can transact with them. So those are the areas. The second thing is the way just to give a simple example, the accounts are opened in India. Nowadays, you don't have to even go to bank to open an account. The ICICI Bank, for example, their customer service representative comes to you at home, and they have an iPad. They take your photograph over there, they fill all the information on the iPad, and your bank account is opened within a span of 15 to 20 minutes. So those are like all the solutions which are making it rapid and making it more relevant to the customer. Those are opening up. I think that helps, Mahesh, and we'll definitely like to get more information on the fintech and share with you. We'll send you an email about it. Okay. The last question we are getting is that what career options in engineering and industry targets would you advise for youth who just passed out of high school and are preparing to enter colleges?
This is a real tough one, Shoel, to admit it. A lot of what we know about 4 years from now is challenging, right? It is becoming even difficult to predict the future. But if we look at some of the sectors that we know are going to be progressive, as what Yogesh also shared, the digitalization, the industry 4.0, the banking and finance coming out to the end user directly through his cell phone, the connectivity solutions, the information, kind of, we are right now, we used to use this term back when I was in college or in school, the information superhighway. And that is where we are right now, is the information superhighway. Now, when we have information, we need to have analytics, we need to have data scientists, we need to have
even solution architects.
We need to get solutions or answers from this big chunk of information. And I would say that those are the things to concentrate on. Now, is there a college that is offering hand-packed courses for these new age things? Sorry, no. So your learning in college has to be supplemented by a lot of things which are available online. That is the way forward. You cannot rely on your college education alone to get you to a job.
Yeah, just to add to that, I would say that robotics is one area which there are a lot of robotics competitions which are going on always into the college environment. It would be great idea to participate and understand, because that's where you can see how the connectivity happens, how the data is gathered and analyzed. The second aspect I think I would like to mention is the sustainability. You cannot ignore the importance of sustainability in India. The next 15-20 years, there has to be a strong pool of engineers or the solution architects who are needed, who are going to meet the India's requirements of smart cities, clean India campaign, the carbon footprint requirement. And that is one area where there is significant gap when we see this talent pool available in India. There are a lot of consulting organizations which are moving from US and Europe, who are trying to build these solutions. Government is big on this. Government is giving out these assignments left, right, and center on the sustainability space. So I would say that if someone is interested into this space, start building your career oriented skill sets into that area. Be it like smart lighting, be it like waste management, or the recycling space, or carbon footprint reduction. Anything that you can get a skill set, like doing a supplementary course, as Shekhar was suggesting, that would definitely help you more marketable, help you be more relevant. And because it's a gap, we have, unless we will give a minute if you would like to add more questions. Otherwise, then we can close this session today. We'll just wait for a minute. So I think there are not any more questions coming up. What we would like is that if you can help us with your feedback onto this webinar, just writing at info@vroomble.com or rahul@vroomble.com. That would help us to when we are conducting similar webinars in the future. Also help us spread this information what we have shared, so that these positive opportunities in India, people are aware of it. If they have any questions, they can always write to us. We would like to know more such requirements, and so that we can help everyone about anything to do with India. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks a lot for attending. Thanks for your time on Saturday. and we'd like to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks and bye.
We are stopping the broadcast. Thank you.